I think it is important to also focus on the metaphysics of things. We already know that this reality is bad. We already know that there's something that feels off about this reality. We already know that there are a lot of people who are suffering, and they are not suffering because they were doing things wrong. They're suffering because suffering is not a bug. Suffering is a feature. Sentient life must suffer. We need to understand why. We need to understand if there's a way that we can totally get rid of suffering. We need to understand if it's possible to die, to not exist. We need to understand if there's a way to bend reality. We need to see reality for what it really is. It is true that there's so much suffering in the world. It is true that people are ignorant. They are making bad decisions each and every day that lead to more suffering. And there isn't much that people who are aware of these mistakes can do, because people are arrogant. You can tell people the truth, and they can hate you for actually telling them the truth. So we know that we're not going to be able to make the world better as a collective. Like, that has never happened in history. People never really change unless they're forced to change. So it will be good to understand the metaphysics of things. Can we bend this reality? Can we get the desired outcome by understanding how reality really works? Because there seems to be something that's going on in the background that we're not aware of. That is why sometimes you can do everything right, and you still fail, and you still find yourself in a very bad situation. That is why some people can do everything wrong and still win. Like I've been telling y'all guys that this reality is scripted. It's rigged. It can give you bad results even if you are doing everything right, and it can give you good results even when you are doing everything wrong. So what's really going on behind the scenes? Why is there suffering? Why is reality the way that it is? Why are we in a world where things don't work out our way? Why ain't we in a world where things go our way, and we don't find ourselves stressing? Things are just working out. Things are making sense. We're in a reality where things seem to be upside down. Why are things upside down? Yesterday I was having a very deep conversation with someone about reality. Is it are we even like living in a real world? Is this really the real world, or it's a fake world? And there are a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes that we are not aware of. It doesn't really matter what you do, because whatever is happening behind the scene is what's actually, you know, controlling this reality. So it's like you kind of like watching a movie. So this person that I was talking to, believes that this is the real reality. So I asked them this question: what are the chances that this is the real reality? If you look at the way that technology is growing, you can see that in the next 500 years we'll have like simulations that are indistinguishable from reality. In fact, we've been creating simulations for a very long time. So you cannot say that it's not possible, that has never happened before. When you look at the way that reality works, it does seem like some kind of a simulation. It doesn't really seem real. The things that are happening are too weird to be happening in the real world. The fact that we don't know where we come from, the fact that there's too many religions, the fact that there's too many sightings of UFOs, the fact that we have technology, that should make you suspicious. There are things that wouldn't really be possible in the real world. If you grew up in a house and you were not allowed to go outside, and the people who raised you told you that there's nothing outside, there's nothing, once you open the door it will just be darkness, don't you think you'll believe them? If you raised a child inside a house and they weren't allowed to leave at all until they're like 30, and you ask them what they think is outside, they'll say it's nothing, right? Especially if you've been telling them that there's nothing outside. The problem is that people believe in a reality that they are seeing. That's the problem. They believe in a reality that they're seeing. You do understand that if a reality like this exists, it cannot be just like existing on its own like that, right? Like, we do have a reality. It does. We are having an experience. You can't just say it's happening on its own like that. It's not possible for a reality like this to just exist on its own. There's definitely something that's going on behind the scenes. Think of dreams, for an example. When you are in a dream, you believe that it is real, it's the real world. You don't think, hey, I'm sleeping somewhere. You just think you are in the real world, and you take everything that's happening seriously until you wake up and realize you weren't in the real world. What are the chances that you are in the real world right now? Just because it seems like you are in the real world doesn't actually mean that you are in the real world, because you have been in a world that was not real and you have believed that it was the real world. So you cannot say just because this seems like the real world is the real world. We need to also focus on the metaphysics of things. We know that this is bad, this is horrible. If a person tells you otherwise, you can't trust them. You can't trust them. I don't care how stupid you think they are. You can't trust them. There isn't a person who's having this experience who would not be capable of seeing how horrible this experience is. That's not possible. I don't care how much fun you're having. I don't care how easy your life is. That's not possible. Like, I can't trust you if you tell me that, oh, this is good. Yeah, God knew what he was doing and he loves us. Man, chill. We know that this is not good. We know that this isn't really working. We know that sentient life is suffering a lot. But what's really happening behind the scenes? How do we really free ourselves from this reality? We also need to focus on that, not just on the fact that things ain't working out in the world, because there are definitely things that are happening behind the scenes that we're not talking about. If it's going to be possible to create simulations in the future, chances are we are in a simulation. If it's possible to dream, chances are we are in a dream. If you were in a dream and you were having a bad experience, how would you free yourself? What would you need to do to actually free yourself? Let's say you are in a dream and you are having a horrible experience. You don't love the experience that you are having. What would you do to free yourself? What do you think you'd need to do to free yourself? I believe that the only way to free ourselves from suffering while we're still here is complete detachment. We must understand that this isn't real. None of this is real. It's scripted. And it wants your energy, it wants your focus. It wants you to be present. It wants you to focus on certain things that are happening. And it's always looking for things that trigger you the most, so that it will keep on showing you a reality that's going to trigger you. So that you give it your energy. So detaching yourself is the key. Not giving this reality your energy is the key. Not taking this reality seriously is the key. Because if it's not real, you don't have a reason to take it seriously. Because it's not real. It's just a world designed to get energy from you. That's why there is so much suffering in the world. That's why you get things that you want, and these things get taken away from you. You know? That's why relationships ain't really working. When you go online, you see that everyone is complaining about relationships. Relationships are not working. Men and women are at war. If a guy doesn't do this, he doesn't love you. If a guy acts like this, he doesn't love you. If a guy says this, he doesn't love you. If a girl behaves this way, she doesn't love you. A woman who loves you will behave this way. If a day goes by without him texting you, it means he doesn't love you. A guy who loves you will text you. If a guy uh doesn't always show up for you, it means he doesn't love you. If a guy doesn't tell you he loves you, he doesn't love you. If he doesn't look at you a certain way, he doesn't love. So you see that this matrix is trying to get as much energy as it can get from us. It wants us to suffer. And you know that when relationships are not working, people suffer. We suffer a lot. I was telling someone today, I was like, there isn't a man who will actually end their lives if there's no woman involved. Like, it doesn't work that way. Men wouldn't like reach the point where they just can't take it anymore. If there was a woman who loved them and they felt loved, but if they felt like all the women who've been in their lives didn't really care about them and they felt alone because of that, then it's easy for them to end things. So they end things because someone that they loved didn't love them back, so they felt lonely, but love is a very big issue in our society. Like, there's no love, there's no good relationships because of that. Like, there's no love, and you can see that the matrix is constantly trying to like get energy from us by making us go against one another. Men are not supposed to understand women. Women are not supposed to understand men. We're supposed to lose our loved ones. People die. People that you really love die. A person can just die. Can get a call right now that a person that you love has died. They were in a horrible car accident. That's what the matrix wants. It wants you to suffer. If that's not what it wanted, then life wouldn't really be that way. Life would actually make sense. Things will be explained to us. We'll understand why certain things happen, and if these things were happening for a good reason, we wouldn't even have a problem. Would see people dying and be like, hey, all of this is happening for a good reason. But we are all in the dark, right? We are all in the dark. We don't know why all these horrible things are happening. Life just gives us experiences that it wants to give us. Anything can happen in this reality. Natural disasters can happen. There's no explanation. Many people can die. There will be no like explanations. You can see that this life just does what it wants with us. It doesn't really care about us. It doesn't care if we don't understand what's going on. We should just trust it. So you can see that something is wrong. Like, you need to be so honest with yourself that you're not delusional anymore. It's people who are not honest with themselves who are delusional. But if you're honest with yourself, you're not going to be delusional. Everything that you'll say will actually make sense. So what's really going on behind the scenes? Why is this reality bad? Why are many people suffering? If this is not real, why don't we like it? You know, when they create video games, they create video games that the players are going to love. Players are going to enjoy. They don't like design like video games that the players are not going to love. That the players are not going to buy. Why is this reality bad? Some people can say this is exciting, but there's no intellectual honesty because It's not exciting. It's not really exciting. It's full of like negative things happening that a lot of people do not want to look at. A lot of people do not want to acknowledge. It's full of bad stories. If you look at your own story, if you look at how you grew up, the things that you've been through, things that you never got closure from, like you'd see that something is wrong. You're just too damn strong. You're just too damn resilient. Like human beings are so damn resilient that no matter what happens, they keep on telling themselves that everything is working out for good. The truth is that life is bad, and we should stop making excuses for for life being the way that it is. It is bad. So we need to try to focus on the metaphysics of things. How does this reality really work? How do I make sure that I don't find myself back in this kind of reality? We should stop creating our own narratives about what's going on. Narratives that actually make us feel comfortable. We must really study the nature of reality. How does this really work? What is really possible? What is most likely? People choose what they believe about this reality the same way that they choose their partners, the same way that they choose their religions, the same way that they choose their careers. It's not about what the truth is, it's about how they feel. What do they want the truth to be? That's what it's about. Some people want this to be a simulation, so they want to believe it's a simulation, and they'll look for evidence to support their belief. Right? They'll look for evidence to support their beliefs. Some people want to believe in the Big Bang Theory, so they'll look for evidence to support their belief. Some people want to believe in God, so they'll look for evidence to support their beliefs. Some people want to believe in non-duality, so they'll look for evidence to support their beliefs. Some people want to believe in New Age spirituality, so they'll look for evidence to support their belief. You must be so curious that you leave no stone unturned. You're alive, and that is a big deal. You are having an experience, that's a big deal. You're suffering, that is a big deal. There are a lot of things that are going on that you don't like, that is a big deal. Stop playing and try to figure out what the heck is going on. That is what's important, because we have no idea what's going on. We are only beginning to figure out what's actually possible, right? But we can't really say that we have an idea what is actually going on, because no one came to us and actually explained to us what is going on. You can tell us that there are ancient books that tell us what's going on, but nah, they don't really tell us what's going on. These books were written by people. If really we were supposed to know what's going on, we wouldn't need to rely on books that were written many, many years ago. Because we have no way of proving that these books are based on like what really happened. If really you want the truth, and you've been searching for the truth for a very long time, do not trust people who believe they found the truth and they're not willing to listen to what other people are saying. Don't believe these people, because they have not done the kind of work that they need to do. They just choose what they believe the same way that they choose their partners, the same way that they choose their friends, the same way they pick their favorite movies and favorite genres of music. Like, nah, man. You must try to figure out what the truth is. You must genuinely seek for the truth. One of the reasons why in South Africa people keep on voting for the wrong political parties is because they don't care about the truth. They care about what parties they actually love. Like, who are the leaders? Who are the people that they love? Which parties do they follow? That's why I don't vote. I cannot vote, and I know people will be like, "No, you gotta vote. You gotta vote. There'll never be any real change." I can't vote if I know that the people, or the majority of people who are voting, are not actually voting for the people that they're voting for because they know that these are the people that can make real change. They're just voting for the people that they vote for because they saw their favorite celebrity wearing a t-shirt supporting that party, right? They like the president of that party. They like how he dances. It's not long about what the party can do. So why should I vote? I'll be wasting my energy trying to do the right thing while people are voting for the wrong reasons. So I'd rather let people vote. Like, do your thing, man. I'm just gonna try to improve my life, no matter who is in power. I don't care. Besides, I'm not going to be having any children, so I don't care. I'm 31 years old. I don't really care if people suffer. In fact, you're gonna hate me for what I'm about to say, but I think that's not a bad thing. And the reason why I would say that's not a bad thing is because the true essence of this reality is suffering, and we spend the rest of our lives trying to escape suffering. So when we suffer, that's when we actually realize that, oh shit, like we suffer in this reality. That's when we actually like wake up. Like, suffering is a wake up call. We'd figure out what we need to do. When people are suffering, that's when they will start looking for God. When people are having fun, they don't even look for God. That's why people in African countries are very religious. You see, they've suffered a lot, that they're looking for something that can save them. They're looking for solutions. That's why they're religious. Unfortunately, the solutions that we've been given are not the right solutions. Religion is in solutions to the problems that we're facing. But at least they want solutions. They will realize what the best solutions are when they suffer, rather than when things are working out for them. They're comfortable. When people are comfortable, they're very ignorant, they're very arrogant, they don't want to change. People want to change when things are not really working out for them. That's when they try to figure out what really makes the most sense. That's how people grow, you see. So suffering can bring people much closer to truth, because when they're suffering and they see that their solutions are not working, they will try to look for better solutions. And uh, that's what draws people to truth, than if they are comfortable. So if they keep on voting for the wrong people, and these people um, keep on stealing, keep on doing things for themselves and their families, while everyone else is suffering, they'll realize that no, actually the world is actually bad. We're outnumbered. Even if I decided to go and vote, I know that the political party that I would have voted for wouldn't win because we're outnumbered. So what's the point? What will be better is to try to convince people to vote for the party that I would have wanted to vote for, because that will increase the chances of that party actually winning. But me, my vote, they lie to us like, yeah, your vote count. No, it doesn't. There's too many ignorant people, so my vote won't count. You see? So I'd rather chill and focus on other things. Or rather focus on making videos. At least I'm talking to y'all guys. At least someone is going to gain something from watching my videos. We live in a very weird world, man. We shouldn't pretend as if we don't live in a weird world. We shouldn't pretend as if we're not confused. We shouldn't pretend as if all this makes sense, because it doesn't. We shouldn't pretend as if we know, because we don't know. And we shouldn't allow other people to force us to pretend as if we know, if we do not know. To pretend as if we understand what's going on, if we don't understand what's going on. People who are in power will force their opinions on others. Yeah, man, life is this, life is that. Like, nah. At this point, we can't be sure what life is. That's why it doesn't make sense to force people to worship life if they don't want to worship life. That's why it doesn't make sense that in some countries people do not have the right to be assisted to exit peacefully. Like, that's crazy, especially considering the fact that we still don't know what life is. We still don't know what life is. So how can we force someone to experience something that we ourselves do not understand? How can we be 100% sure that we are right? That would be like if you were low. You grew up in this big ass room, right? With like a lot of people, and you were told that you should never try to get out, but then you found a way, and other people said, no, 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 you can't get out. No, 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 you're wrong. You can't get out because they told us not to get out. Um, it would be good if we lived in a world where we weren't too sure, where we were open-minded enough to allow people to learn about what's going on, and make their own conclusions about what's going on, other than forcing everyone else to see life the same way. Some people do not want to play by society's rules. They want to live differently. They want to think differently. Some people don't want to work. Uh, I mean, they do want to work, but they don't want to, you know, work for someone. They want to work for themselves. Some people don't want to go to school. Some people don't want to be told what to do. They want to be free to make their own choices. We're different, and we're not experiencing reality the same way. So we all need to be intellectually honest. I shouldn't be forcing my opinions on other people. Believe what you want to believe. You see, you want to believe in Christianity? Believe in Christianity. I don't really care, but don't force me to believe in Christianity. Don't force me to live by your moral standards. If you were taught as a Christian that it is wrong to drink, I am Jane. Forget. And busy, and busy. I problem. Oh, okay, okay. You born in okay. Alright, alright. Okay. Alright. Mfana lasha kunyana arkona la. Alright. So yeah, we shouldn't force our opinions on others about what existence is. We should allow people to be open-minded. We should allow people to, be themselves and express themselves that the way that they want to express themselves. People pretend as if they know how a human being should be. That's one of the biggest reasons why we judge one another, and that's one of the biggest reasons why we can't connect with one another. People are too damn judgmental. I don't judge people. I try to accept people as they are, even if I don't understand them, and I try to understand them. If someone is gay and I'm not gay at all, I don't understand them, right? But I understand that we're different. So I mustn't judge them. Be like, no, 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 no. How can you be gay? How can you be this and that? Nah, be you. someone um is 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 a transgender trainee. All these can be confusing, but yeah, I cannot fully understand them, but I can understand that they want to live their lives the way that they want to live their lives. I mean, I don't understand women, but I cannot force them to be like men. I cannot force them to uh, be very rational if they are like, if they focus more on their emotions, focus more on how they feel. Maybe as a man I'll prefer that they were more logical, but they are how they are. You see, women shouldn't be trying to change men. We are the way that we are. We must be trying to understand one another. So we cannot be too sure that we understand what's really going on. We must be trying to learn, trying to learn from one another. I do have deep conversations with Christians because I'm actually trying to learn. I'm trying to figure out why they will believe what they believe, and if there are things that are happening in their lives because of what they believe. Are they supernatural things that happen in their lives because they believe what they believe? That's really important to understand. Like, even if you're an atheist, I was talking to someone about all right, this one. I was talking to someone about exorcism. I was like, I've been to different churches and I've seen people being exorcised, and I can tell you that that happens, right? Like, that does happen. Like, people do get. I am Johnny. Forget. I can tell you that people really do get exorcised, but what's really happening? Is it psychological? Loko ku nga ri na munhu mi to va cheka ka muti walowo. Sure, mara loko mo va cheka lava ta va ri kona. We should try to keep an open mind. Today I'm getting distracted a lot. I don't know what's going on, but you must try to keep an open mind. Always be questioning everything. When things happen in your life, ask questions. Don't make conclusions based on what you've been trained to think, right? Don't make conclusions based on what you've been trained to think. I remember a week ago I was having this deep conversation with this girl. She was telling me about this guy that she was in a relationship with. The relationship ended. She's the one who ended the relationship. She was telling me that she texted him and she told him that the relationship is over. She didn't really express herself. She just told him that the relationship was over. Now, I assumed that the guy. Oh, no, let me tell you what she told me first. Yeah, she told me the relationship was over. She told me that she sent him a text telling him that the relationship was over. She was hoping that he would ask her why, so that she can express herself. She was hoping that he was going to show her that he cared, so that she'll express herself. Let's say the guy, when he was on TikTok, he came across a video of someone saying, when a girl leaves, let her leave. Don't even say anything. Don't even ask her, because That's what's trending now. People claim to be relationship experts. So the guy just came across a video like that. So he's like, okay, I'm not gonna ask anything. Uh, it means she doesn't love me anymore. That's it. I'm moving on. I'm gonna be a man. I'm gonna take it. I'm not going to chase. And you find that the guy, you might find that the guy actually did love her, but it's because we are looking at how we've been trained to think, other than like trying to um, come up with new solutions for the problems that we're facing, like really learning how to solve the problems that we're facing. So the guy was like, okay, cool. I'm not saying she was right to say it was over, even though she knew that she still wanted him. But he also didn't respond in the best way possible because of how he's been programmed. If he likes her, I mean, if he doesn't like her, I get it. But if he does like her, then he made a mistake. He could have responded better. Because sometimes people, when you are in a relationship with them, they want validation. Sometimes when you are in a relationship with someone, they might actually want to know if you still love them, and they might test you. Sometimes it does happen. I've seen that happen. um I remember, there was this girl that I was dating. We kept everything private. I prefer keeping everything private. So yeah, we kept everything private. And there was, I was working together. There was this other chick that liked me. I mean, I'm not sure if she wanted to date me, but she seemed to like me. And the girl I was dating, got jealous. Like, what's going on, you guys? Because she knows how sleek I am. Like, I'm perfect at keeping things private. Women ain't that perfect at keeping things private. I am more perfect than women. They say when a woman cheats, you won't find out. Like, dude, I'm next level. I mean, I can keep things like so damn private that you never find out. But yeah, I was keeping everything private. No one knew what was going on. Sometimes I would pretend to, like, let's say we're chilling, we're in a group, and she says something. I pretend as if I don't agree with her, and I'll even disrespect her a little bit. You know, like, me and her are not cool, so that no one suspects anything, and no one did suspect anything. Um, but yeah, she texted me this other day. She's like, "It's over. I'm done with you, blah blah blah." And I knew that the reason why she texted me saying that it was over was because she couldn't. Uh, she couldn't deal with the situation we're in. Like, there's this girl that seemed to be showing interest in me, and it might even seem like I might also be dating her privately, and maybe that's the reason why I wanted our relationship to be private. So that's the reason, right? So I must try to find a way to keep her, because of course, if I said, "Oh, okay, it's all good," she probably will change her mind. She'll be like, "Ah, no, no, no," But she's just trying to figure out if I'm still down with her. So, like, hey, I'm still down with you. What you think is going on is not what's actually going on. It's just that I can't be rude. You know what I mean? And besides, if this is going to work and we're going to keep everything private, then it will be great if some people think I'm dating this girl. You see? Sometimes we make mistakes because we don't see things as they are. So, yeah, this experience doesn't make sense. We shouldn't be lying to ourselves, but we should also realize that there is so much that we do not know. There is so much that we do not understand about how this reality actually works. We must also understand that there are things that are happening in the background. We mustn't just focus on what we are seeing. Oh, this person said this, they are evil. Um, oh, this person became the president. Oh, yeah, people are dumb. They voted for these people. We must also try to figure out what's happening behind the scenes. And we can, when we are like truly honest with ourselves without making any assumptions. That's the mistake that people make. They make assumptions based on how they have been conditioned to think. So they make assumptions about this reality because of how they've been conditioned to think. And they end up making the wrong conclusions because of the assumptions that they make because of how they've been programmed to think, you see. That's why it's not easy to make people change their beliefs. People have been brainwashed so much that, and by people who don't give a shit about them, they've been brainwashed so much that they sold their souls without even realizing. No, they're playing for the wrong team. There are people who are kind-hearted. There are people who want the world to be a better place, but because they've been brainwashed, they're playing for the wrong team, and they don't even realize they're playing for the wrong team. To get the truth, you must be willing to let go of all your attachments. Your attachment to religion, your attachment to politics, your attachment to people, everything. Like, you must be willing to let go of everything and start from scratch again. Question everything as honestly as you can. You will get much closer to the truth than if you lie to yourself constantly. That doesn't help. That has never helped anyone. That's why some people don't even see that this is not work. Like, this reality is bad. Some people don't see that this reality is bad because they are listening to what everyone else is saying. They can't operate outside their programming. So they've been told that this is good. So they believe that this is good even when it's bad. So no matter what happens, disasters do happen. Um, young people die every day, and we pretend as if that's good. Everything is happening for a good reason. People are being mistreated. People are working shitty jobs. People are homeless. People don't have jobs. It's hard to make a living. There are people who want to have jobs, to be employed, but who don't have jobs. There are people who want to start their own businesses, but who can't start their own businesses because of how things have been set up. So we need to ask ourselves why things are the way that they are. Why ain't things different? Why ain't things better than they are? Why is it that when we make effort to make things better, things don't become better? It's like there's a force that is trying to make sure that things stay at the same level. So no matter how hard we try, things stay at the same level. We must try to figure out why. So that's why I'm also going to focus on the metaphysics of things, not just on the things that I'm seeing. I'm also going to focus on what a lot of people will call spirituality, right? How what's happening behind the scenes? What's really sourcing this reality? Why is it the way that it is? Why is it structured the way that it is? Why did this happen? Did that happen? Sometimes when things happen, we like to figure out why they happen by just focusing on what we have learned in the past, other than sometimes trying to figure out if there isn't something that has happened behind the scenes that caused that thing to happen. Sometimes we find ourselves stressing, trying to figure out why things happen by focusing on what we're seeing. Sometimes things just happen, man, because there's something that has happened behind the scenes, and it has nothing to do with you doing things wrong. It's just wanted to happen. Like something that is powerful made sure that it happened, so it did happen. And that's the only explanation. It's not because you did something wrong. It's not because um, you didn't do enough. Sometimes when things don't work out, we tend to blame ourselves. People die, and we wish that we communicated with them. Maybe if we communicated with them, maybe they, I don't know, like would have done things differently, and they would have not have ended up dying. Like if a person, um, end things, you think, well, if I communicated with them, then they wouldn't have ended things. If someone got involved in a car accident and they die, and you wish that if you like you wish that you called them, maybe that would have created like a butterfly effect that would have not like resulted in them dying. But sometimes you can call someone, and just because you've called someone, that creates like a butterfly effect that leads to them dying. Creates a ripple effect that leads to them dying. You never know. That's the thing. That's why you shouldn't be too hard on yourself. We don't know what we are actually doing. We just trying to like make this make sense. We're just trying to make this make sense. But it still doesn't. I think it doesn't make sense because there are things that are happening behind the scenes that we do not know. And that's the real problem. So, yeah, we need to open our eyes and our minds, try to see what's really, really possible about the reality that we are all part of. We know that like if you're like really honest with yourself, I know that you're not really going to like think this is good, right? You're not going to really think that this is good. So we need to do the right amount of work that's required to understand more about the reality that we are all part of. It is that important, because many people who are conscious don't really believe in this. There's a reason why people who are religious don't don't believe that this is actually work. Like, Christians don't really believe this is a good world, but they'll pretend as if it is, because they believe that their God created it. But they believe that this is a better place. They believe that this is a world of suffering and there is a better place. And that's what most of these religions are saying. In fact, most of these religions are saying this is not even the real world. Like, there's a world that is real, but this is in it. That's why I'm saying the best way to live life is to detach yourself from things instead of being too attached from things. If you're in a bad dream, you just need to detach yourself, and yeah, things will happen. But if you detach yourself, they wouldn't affect you as much. Thank you all, guys.